Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Rebecca Austin, and on this channel we talk about all things Kajabi, marketing, and growing your online business. Now, of course, I am a big fan of Kajabi, and if you're not familiar with Kajabi, I highly recommend that you check it out because it is one of those platforms that allows you to handle just about everything you need for an online business all in one convenient place. Recently, Kajabi just made things even better when they launched the new page builder theme. And that page builder has been super fun to be able to play with and to upgrade pages because there's so many customization options that are available inside this new page builder. But there are a few things in there that are not quite so obvious that I'm going to point out to you today, and I call those the hidden gems of Kajabi's new page builder. So let's dive into some of those hidden gems that you may not have noticed at first blush when you're looking at the new page builder, because there's so many other features that kind of overshadow. But these are some really key ones that you want to make sure you pay attention to and possibly implement them in your pages. So let's jump on in. Okay, so I'm going to take you here to, this is just a sample page. This actually is a sales page template that I offer for free on my website to kind of help you get started, especially with the new page builder. So let's jump on in here just a little bit. And if I scroll down, the first one that I want to share with you, of course, is that when we go into a section, we have the option of scrolling down to where it has animations. Now, animations give us the ability to have some movement on the page so that you can get a viewer's attention and call their eye to that particular item on your page. So animations can be super fun, especially if you're strategic about them, because one, you don't want to do too much animation, but two, you can use it specifically for drawing attention to a certain thing. So a lot of times something like a call to action, we can do that where we go to that particular block and then we go down to animations and then we add the animation that we want. So we select what type, whether it's a fade, flip, or zoom, and then the direction, the delay, and the duration. So you can kind of play with this and decide what works best for you, but I'm going to be strategic about it and I'm going to do it just on this call to action rather than trying to do on a whole bunch of things on this block or this section. The second gem, other than animations, because that one might be a little more obvious to you since there's been a lot of talk about that on the forums and things like that, and it's a pretty obvious thing because it's right there in the menu. And the other one that is right in the menu that is super, super handy but not necessarily implemented as well as it should is this feature. This is gem number 2, the desktop layout versus mobile layout. Now this is something that is new, that is super, super, super awesome and so valuable because remember, we've got so many of our viewers that are going to be looking at your page through mobile versus desktop. And when we're designing, we tend to design on a desktop, so this may look really good on desktop, but in case you don't realize, down here on the bottom corner, we do have the little icon that we can go and switch between views. So if I go to a mobile view, I always want to make it a habit on my page to preview what it looks like on mobile, tablet, and desktop, just to make sure everything's spaced the way I want to and that everything looks the way that I want it to look. But this is where it gets really cool. So if I decide, well, I don't want to have all of these things showing on the mobile, I can go into the mobile layout and we can go to this particular block, to the mobile layout, and we can actually hide this block on layout. We can change the spacing on both inside and outside spacing. We can do the same thing with desktop if we want to hide it on desktop. So this is where you can have certain blocks that are only available on desktop and certain blocks that are only available on mobile. And that gives us incredible customization to really, really make it look the way we want it to look, specifically for each one. I remember one of the things on that too is things like autoplay on your videos. So you may have a video on desktop that might autoplay, but on mobile you might have a separate block for the same video and then have different settings for that so that you can make sure that it's a little bit mobile friendly. If somebody is out and about or in a restaurant or at work or something like that, we don't want to jumping into a video with the sound and those kind of things. So just make sure that you look at both views and then implement this fantastic gem to be able to customize your desktop layout and customize your mobile layout. How cool is that? Okay, now let's go to some really cool additional hidden gems that may have been a little more hidden for you. So let's go down here to an image block. And when we go to the image block, you can see where we can upload the image and then we can customize the size of that image. But then we have this really cool thing that it's kind of just this hanging out here, kind of hidden inside these settings where it's the image alt attribute. And in case you're not familiar with what an image alt attribute is, this is the setting that you put into an image file that is when someone is scrolling through, like if they're visually impaired, it's a description of what the image is. But it also is super handy for helping you on your search engine optimization, because when Google's going in there and they're indexing what's on your page, if you are leaving these alt attributes blank and it just says placeholder image, there's nothing there to help the search engines to further slide through your page and get ideas of what's going on that page. But if we add these image attributes, then it's just helping you on your analytics and your keyword strategy and all those things that go along with SEO. And it used to be in the Premiere theme, we had to be really strategic and change the file name of the image before we uploaded it, so that would help with that as far as your alt attribute, so it wasn't just some generic name. It kind of helped with some of those keywords, so you could have, that was the strategies that we had to do, or we had to go into the code and then add the alt attribute code. Now they make it so much easier for us. All we have to do is just go into this little box that they placeholder added in here and then type in your description of what is in that picture to help you with your SEO. So that is probably one of my favorite hidden gems that, of course I say that all the time because there's so many favorites and I get super excited and get geeked out on all of this stuff, but it just keeps getting better. And I just wanted to point this one out to you because it's one that can often get overlooked, and a lot of my clients that I talk to aren't even aware of the importance of some of these back-end settings on what it can do in the long run for you on your site. So those are some things to kind of pay attention to, especially when you're setting up the page, because it's so much easier to do it on the front end when you're designing the page than to try and go back and do it later after the fact. It's because you can get a lot of pictures into a page and a lot of pictures on your site, and this goes for when you're creating anything for blogs or sales pages or anything like that. So make sure you go in there and add your image attributes. Okay, so that is another hidden gem, and the other one that I want to talk about just a little bit is down here on this time reveal. So the time reveal is a super handy additional new thing that has come out with the new page builder, in that we can have elements that are revealed on a time frame based on what we want to have happen on that page. Now we can connect it to an event. So for example, if you're putting together a webinar or something like that where you have a video for an evergreen webinar that's a pre-recorded, and then at a certain point in that webinar you want to have your offer pop up on the page. You can do that by setting up an event and then having the offset on so many minutes, so many hours, so many days after the event, so you have your event for a specific time. Now if you don't select an event here, then the time will be revealed based off of when they load the page. So on a sales page, for example, you can have a video and then have a block that has a time offset. If your video is 5 minutes long, then you can have that offset of 4 minutes, so the last minute of the video, we have this section that then is revealed below your video block that then gives them their call to action, and it's that motion, it's that grand reveal. You're not giving away information too early, so you have time in your video to give them your value proposition and share with them all of the great things that you're giving them and the solution to their problem that you're solving with your program before they see that price tag. Because sometimes people will just scroll right to the price tag, say, oh, well, I'm not going to do that, before they've ever had a chance to see what your value proposition is. And that's why it's so handy to have this type of a time reveal option that you can build into your pages. So that, in a nutshell, are just a few of the amazing gems that we have now in the new Encore Page Builder. I hope you get a chance to implement some of them, try some of them for yourself, and put them into your pages to be able to use some of those animations to give your page some life. You can do some of the custom spacing. I have a whole separate video that I talk specifically on how to customize your spacing, and you can find that here. I'll put I guess it'll be here. I'll have a link right up here in the corner where you can check that video out as well, so you can customize your spacing. We can have the desktop and the mobile sections that are customized specifically, so we make sure that everything looks really good regardless of the device that someone is looking at it. And then of course we have those image attributes to make sure that you are maximizing your SEO strategy. Of course, going along with that is that you're doing your SEO and sharing settings in the details portion of the page, so that you have all of those things set up to maximize your visibility on building your relevance and authority through your search engines like Google. And then of course those time reveal options that we now have it where it's super easy to have these elements that can interact on a deeper level with your audience. And ultimately that's just really the whole purpose, is to first of all capture their interest, engage with your audience, and then encourage action. And a great way to do that is with these pages that are dynamic, that have motion, that have video, that have all of these things that can really drive home the value that you're offering and the transformation that you can give them if they simply click and turn into a conversion. So if you plan on using some of these for the first time, let me know by giving me a thumbs up so that I can know that you're trying them for the first time. If you've used them yourself, feel free to give me a comment below and let me know how you've used them and what some of your favorites are. If you're looking for more resources on Kajabi or growing your online business, feel free to check out my website at striveforsavvy.com, as well as the other videos that we have here on YouTube. And if you are serious about growing your online business, then subscribe to my channel, because we do put new videos out all the time to be able to help you in tons of different ways, not only in Kajabi itself, but also in strategies and mindsets, and especially that marketing piece, which is that crucial component to be able to really see the success that you are looking for. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next video.